Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Beware, beware. That might not be a phone jingling in your pocket. Join the Nevermorians for morning mischief and madness at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Your sense of humor is the only thing you need to wear.
Good morning. How the heck are you? I'm Brian K. Morris, and welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore for August the 12th, 2020. Oh, we're almost halfway through this month, and we're halfway through the week. Welcome to Hump Day. Yes, Christian Basil. I said hump. Anyway, I'm your host, Brian K. Morris, as I said, and thank you for watching us, whether it's live or on Facebook or YouTube. Appreciate your attention, and if you're watching on Facebook, on the Rising Tide or Geek Insider or my personal page, please give this video a like because it helps me in the algorithms, and please share this show with your friends because we're going to be sharing some links and some information that they're going to want to know what cool people you hang out with, and I'm not saying it's me. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give this video a like and also please subscribe because we want to take over the interwebs, all right? And that will help, believe me. Be sure to turn on the thumbs up notification so you get told whenever I appear on the air. And this show is brought to you by Geek Insider and Rising Tide Publications. How the heck is everyone? Christian Basil, how are you, my brother? Bring me the Morris Monster. Rise and get us over that hump. And I mean Sarah affectionately. That's one I could never get over. I'd be treasuring it forever, Christian. Hope you're having a great morning, guy. And Cindy Cat, mwah, and a bonny top of the morning to you. Me wee lassie. So glad to see you here. Hope your day is going well. Adrian Johnson, morning to you, my friend. Hope your morning's going well. Carl Witzman from YouTube. Good to see you, sir. Hope your morning's going well, my friend. And Clyde Hall, pleasure as always. Welcome, Nevermorians, and Wednesday Hump Day Carnally members. Yeah, or Camerly members. Excuse me. I thought we were going carnal for a moment here. I guess Christian's been a bad influence on me. But anyway. It's not like I can be a good influence on him, though. So anyway, good to see you. I'm checking my thing. Ted Davies has showed up. Ted, is always a pleasure, brother. And P already. I did. I may be doing it even as we speak. I'm a professional. And Carleen, hey there. Mwah, Carly. Hope you're doing well. And don't forget, Friday night is Uncle Carl and Aunt Donna's green room is going to pop up. Among other things, and hopefully you can join us there. Robert Beatty, another glorious morning make me sick. All right, Robert, we'll do our best to nauseate you. Hope you survived the windstorm we had the other day. There's a name for it, and I can't remember what it is, but it's actually more or less like a hurricane or a tornado, rather, without an eye. It's instead of like a circular motion, it's a flat wave of wind, and I know we got it, and I know some people in like about parallel with you got it in Iowa. Hope you survived it well. And good morning, Carly, says Carl. And Eric Hawkins, good morning to you, brother. Eric Hawkins, who was awesome last night on Clever Title Pending, which if you haven't watched already, please go back and watch it. If you're watching on YouTube, it will show up in our playlist in probably later today, and we'll put it in where it belongs. I hope you're happy, Christian. And also, it's available on most platforms where you're watching this right now, including Geek Insider, Rising Tide Publications, and my profile page, to say nothing of Geek Insider and my page on YouTube. Please subscribe, please. It would make me happy. And anyway, Eric was fantastic last night, as was Luke Stone. Always a pleasure. And also, Eric has a contest, or rather an art competition that someone's ahead of him, and I can't abide that. So please go over, if Eric wants to share that link, go over there and vote for him, okay? Let's lobby for the guy. And Linda Cox, so great to see you this morning, Linda. How the heck are you? And thank heavens we're more than halfway through this cluster of a year. Yeah, no joke. yeah, it's like I'm almost thinking that everyone's saying, well, 2021's got to be better. And I'm just thinking, 2020 could be nearby going, Brian, hold my beer and watch this. I don't want to say anything yet. And Carl Wisman has shared the YouTube link. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. And thank you for that recommendation on that camera. I think I'm going to be looking for it. I missed that sale because I was dragging my heels and I got distracted. So, but anyway, that looks like a nice little camera. And Brian Rodman, good morning, my fellow Brian. Well, my fellow Brian, who's spelling his first name correctly. Good to see you, Brian, and thank you for being on Clever Title Petting last night. You had some great questions. I was pleased to ask our panel of two, and like I said, we got some great answers from Luke and Eric, and it was just a really great night. So please check it out when you get the opportunity. All right. And good morning, all. Good morning to you, Ted Davies. That's Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube and the interwebs. Put a .com on the end for that, and check out what that man does so awesomely, and that's art. And also check out his YouTube channel where he has all kinds of great interviews, and started a brand new show with Carl Witzman on the art of smoking cigars. It's been quite interesting, and I'm not a smoker. And hi, Carl, says Carleen. And Clyde Hall, Cavalry became Camerly on Wednesdays. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's interesting. I gotta look that up. And Christian Basil, I'm a bad influence on any female of the species. Well, God bless you for that. It's when I was single, we relied on guys like you. And Joe Bachman, good morning, everyone. Joe, pleasure to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Everyone, please. I haven't implored you yet, but please put in a link to what you're doing, whether anything creative or if you have your own business, or if there's somebody you think doesn't get enough credit, doesn't promote themselves very well, aside from me, or if there's a charity that you want people to know about. Please put that in the comments and let's share this around. Please share this video if you would, so that everybody can see the awesome people you hang out with. Carl Witzman, sorry about falling off last night during the show. 3 fire trucks, an ambulance, and the EMS truck showed up across the street. Suspected fire due to a downed power line. I thought it was some sort of lawnmower emergency. Holy cats. I wondered where you went. Hope nothing bad happened. And Deraco is the name you're looking for. Thank you, Joe Bachman. I knew where to look it up, but didn't want to take the time to do it. Thank you so much. Knew I could rely on my Nevermorians. You guys and gals do a lot of good stuff, but thank you. Yeah, Deraco is basically a windstorm. It's like a wave of wind, and I guess we get at least one every year, but most of the time it is virtually insignificant. But I guess it's what I read, and I could be wrong, but what I read said the Deraco from 2 days ago started out in Nebraska and swept across the Midwest, going up into lower Michigan and Wisconsin, and taking in most of like Nebraska, Iowa, upper part of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, and even up into Ohio. Before it finally exhausted itself. But I guess it was well over 100 miles and like over 125 miles an hour by the time it hit like Des Moines and Cedar Rapids, I guess. And then by the time it hit Champaign, Illinois, where I used to live, or Chicago, excuse me, it was like 100 miles an hour. And by the time it came to Lafayette, in the northwest central area of Indiana, they clocked it at 70 miles an hour. It was pretty brutal. A lot of damage done. Hope everyone was safe. And Carleen says straight winds. Yeah, seriously. And what we saw at the show was very informative, says Carl Witzman. Well, thank you. Yes, last night's topic was crowdfunding, which is where you can go online on various forums such as GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and basically ask people to support you to help get your project off the ground. And in return, in most cases, you will receive something. Now, GoFundMe is generally for private contributions for some sort of goal, which works. And I found out there's also like an Indiegogo for if you're trying to buy a house. I learned this about 5 years ago when we were looking around for our house, that there is kind of like a crowdfunding site just for potential homeowners. And also That's the one I found out about 10 years ago from one of my cosplay friends, that there is a site where that it is like Kickstarter, but it is only for breast implants. We just report, we don't judge. Anyway, Christian Basil says 2020 is the disaster equivalent of that kid who throws the sticky octopuses on the wall hoping something sticks. Murder hornets dropped in the third act. Bad form. Yeah, we've had like a near miss. We've avoided World War III. Uh, we've had, of course, the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic, but and global disruption, a near global recession, and you don't want to ask what's next because there's always something on the docket, right? And Supernatural's going off the air. How can this year get any worse? Cindy Cap, last night's adventure was interesting and informative. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. And don't forget, kovfefe.com for Cindy Cap's great website. Please check it out and see her amazing new book, Animal Eye. And also sign up for her free monthly newsletter. It comes out usually about the third week of the month, and it is worth the read. It's a great time. I read it, and I love it. And it takes me some time to do it. It's not like you just skim through and go, okay, okay, okay. There's stuff to read, and it's really informative. And speaking of which, Cindy, thank you last night for your amazing questions. And I hope we brought some light and kind of demystified the Kickstarter experience. Kickstarter, as everyone knows, is a crowdfunding campaign where, again, people will support you on specific projects, and depending on the level that they give money to you, they get certain thank you gifts as a result. And Luke and Eric have both run some incredibly successful campaigns in the last couple of years. Um, I'm really proud of those two. They've done really great work. And the best part is they have also not only been busting hump to, yes, I said hump, Christian, to make their crowdfunding work and be exciting and draw in new audiences. But also, they have been working just as hard, if not harder, to get the stuff out. I know, for instance, Eric had everything waiting. He had all of his special thank you goodies, like the stickers and uh, the bookmarks and the trading cards. He had all of that ready by the time the Kickstarter ended. Then he got his money about 2 weeks later from the platform, and then he's immediately sent it off to get his books printed. Then he had to wait a couple weeks for that, but and it's a process. It's like self-publishing, where it's a lot of little steps to get you to your goal. It's not insurmountable, though, and with patience and a little smarts and a little extra creativity, you can really capture some really great attention and add to your mailing list, which is vital in this business. It is. And we got some great comments coming up. I'll try to catch up as best I can, my friends. Let's go to Ted Davies. But thank you again, Cindy Cap, kovfefe.com. Ted Davies, please enjoy a new video on my YouTube channel introducing Kelly Gonzales, an amazing cosplayer and human being. Definitely check that out. Ted is an awesome interviewer. He really is. And he's been doing some great shows with myself, Luke Stone, Henri Compon, who I've got to invite onto a Clever Tile Pending one of these times. He is fantastic, and he is an inspiration to a lot of us. Robert Beatty didn't really do much here. Well, good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm sorry. I am not sorry that you got left out of the excitement. Eric Hawkins, thanks, but voting is already over. It's only live during the show. Oh, that sucks. That's past my bedtime. Luke and I stayed up after you left, not too long. Then we both kind of crashed. But anyway, well, you did good. You did good, and it's nice to know that they fear you. They should. And Carl Wisman said there are probably better cameras than the one that I found, but it was cheap, and I'm going to try it out. Yeah, okay. I thought it was one you were currently using, because the one you've got is not too bad. I like it. I guess for 1080p cameras, there's only so many ways you can make them awesome without spending too much money. It's like I've been seeing some of the 4K cameras, and it's like I don't need that, because I think most of the videos that are on here are like 720, and then you get to 1080 when you get to YouTube, and I think you have to have a certain number of followers or subscribers, I should say, to merit like high def or have a special project, at which point you're being monetized. But that I haven't really looked into that because I'm nowhere close to that. But anyway, if you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe. It does help us out. It helps us be more discoverable. And who knows, maybe we'll make this show so darn, we'll monetize this show somehow and it'll be so profitable. I'll have to come back to 5 days a week or more. Anyway, Christian Basil 2020 will be better. I'll take things we said obliviously in 2019 for 200, Trebek. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. That one meme where it's like, you get that standard question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And how many of us predicted what we're going through now in 2015, right? There's Teresa Dunn. Good morning, Brian and fellow Morians. Hey, glad to see you, Teresa. Hope your morning's going well. Love you, hon. And Carlene on YouTube says, missed most of last night when the bevy of fire trucks showed up in front of our house. Sorry, but it was a bit more exciting than fundraising. I would have to say so. I just wondered, did Carl set their lawnmower on fire because he couldn't take the brutal competition anymore? And Monica O'Leary says, I could never see you getting distracted. Oh, no, not me, Monica, when did you show up? Cool. Anyway, Monica O'Leary, Darkest Honor, please get that on Amazon because she's lovely and I love her. Monica, I hope you're doing well. I got to touch base with you sometime. I'm a horrible friend. And Carl Wisman said, I actually behaved myself on Christian Basil's show last night. I got to check that out too because Christian does an amazing program called The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And if you're even remotely interested in Doctor Who, that's a great show to watch. He's gotten some really terrific interviews lately, and the conversation's always great. I think Christian's an amazing broadcaster. I really do. Christian, I got to get you on Clever Title Pending one of these nights, and because I'm thinking we'll do a broadcasting show. We'll talk about that, sir. We'll talk. Anyway, please check out the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.com. Also, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS on Facebook. You can hashtag become part of the legend if you join his 37,000. That's the number. I didn't stutter, subscribers. And speaking of people, I won't stutter over their introduction. There's John B. Pica. Good morning, Multiverse. Good morning to you, Citizen Pica. How the heck are you? Glad to see you as always. Christian Basil, Carl's Whitman. I know, I was so disappointed. You poor man. And Christian, you a bad influence. I know. Teresa, I hope you were sitting down when I said that. And John B. Pica. Brian, did you see the news about DC Comics layoff yesterday? Yeah, I saw that. I've been following that story since Monday. I'm glad someone brought it up because that's a subject, being comic books. It's near and dear to my heart. For those of you who don't know what happened, on Monday, AT&T, who now owns Warner Communications, the former Warner Communications, they announced that there were massive layoffs at DC Comics. The current publisher, Jim Lee, has been reassigned. Probably, they say, to a more creative role when this shakes out. But they fired Bob Harris, the editor-in-chief. They fired Bobby Chase, who I love. She's a great editor. She's done some great work at DC and also before that at Marvel. Sorry to see her go. Group editor Brian Cunningham, Hank Canals, who was in charge of their digital initiative. I think they just trimmed a lot of people from the upstairs. Fired, I think, at least one of the editors, and then they let a bunch of people from HBO, their HBO division, go, and it's pretty much the end of the DC streaming universe. And more layoffs are expected to happen. And the rumor going around last couple of days is that DC currently publishes 52 copies per month of their mainstream books like Superman, Batman, Detective Action, Flash, etc., Justice League of America. Word has it that they may cut the line down to half, around 30 titles, and just their mainstream books, like the stuff that, if they remember the Justice League, chances are they're going to stick around. This is probably the biggest cut at DC Comics since the legendary DC implosion in the late 70s. DC, under new publisher Jeanette Kahn, was trying to expand their line and played with a new format that actually was about 10 cents more expensive than many books during that time, but they also added extra story pages, something they tried again with the New 52 back in 2010. Well, after about 2 months, the then Warner Brothers brass decided that was just a little too audacious for them and ordered like a massive cut of titles and personnel. They lost Larry Hama and Al Milgrom as editors. Those two guys went over to Marvel to become writers and editors, and it took DC quite a while to bounce back from that. In fact, at one point, Jim Shooter, who was editor in chief at Marvel at the time, said that he got a phone call from one of the brass at DC and said, "Hey, listen, we've got. How would you like to license Superman and Batman and a number of our A-list characters?" And Jim said, "I've got to check with my board of directors, but I am interested." And they never followed up on it. But then a couple of years later, with the success of the New Teen Titans, DC managed to not need to license their characters. And in fact, a few years later, Marvel was looking to license their characters to DC. So it's been kind of up and down. But right now, DC is kind of on the ropes, and it sounds like AT&T is going to concentrate on their digital initiatives and on trade paperbacks for long-term sales. And it's not known how they're going to treat the comic shops. Probably badly, because they're looking more at getting into bookstores, which gives their product a longer shelf life. So yeah, I have been following this, and I am concerned. Although I think for independent comics like yours and mine, I think it's a golden opportunity. We need to reach out to shops. We need to set up our own distribution network. So anyway, if anyone has a comment on it, I'd love to discuss that because it's comics. And I know most of you are not comic collectors, but I'd love to talk it over with you if you're interested. And hi, Lynn Shibley, TL Shibley, mwah, amazing author, darling friend. I love you, Lynn. Hope you and Paul and the family are still having a fantastic vacation. And she is the evil Lynn to my Orko, which means mwah. Anyway, Lynn, hi, how are you, sweetie? And Carly Loves Chaos says, Carl Witzman, wasn't that a 50s sitcom? Like I Love Lucy and Carly Loves Chaos. That does sound like that would be a hell of a great YouTube sitcom, I think. Christian Basil, Teresa Dunn, that's what she said. Oh, yeah. And Carl Witzman, I behave for Melanie's sake. Well, good for you. But what about Kamiko? And Carleen, straight line wins, not just straight wins, taking in more coffee. I hear you, Carly. I've got to do the same myself. Pardon me. See, I told you. Promoting myself. Well, you better, John B. Pica. Promote yourself. Because if you don't promote yourself, who the heck's going to do it for you? You can't rely on me to do everything. Anyway, I've got a bunch of plates spinning. Patreon.com/impossibilist. Lots of new content for our patrons this week. Full access starts at only $2 a month. That's a bargain. That's a real bargain. I got to get over there and I got to support you, John. I really do. Patreon, which is another crowdfunding platform we didn't get around to talking about last night. I don't think Eric or Luke or I have any sort of viable Patreon presence. I've got a Patreon page. I just don't promote it. Not yet. But anyway, Patreon is a crowdfunding platform where you can support a creator, but instead of supporting them project by project, which you can do on Patreon, most of them have a monthly subscription. And I know people like Karen Nicole, Todd Black, you, John B. Pica, artist Francesco, whole bunch of really cool people have Patreon pages where every month you send anywhere on up. And the more you send, the more perks you get, of course, with the creative person. And I'm probably going to once I get a couple hundred more people on my subscription list on my YouTube channel, I will probably start working on my Patreon a little because it's a good platform and it's like you get rewards all the time with any luck. So anyway, please support John B. Pica. Go to johnpica.com And check out all the stuff he's got because he's awesome. He really is. And the internet is a strange place, says Robert Beatty, and I'm doing my part to keep it that way. I call a scalper out for trying to scalp a $30 figure for 60. Then he calls me out and calls me a hero and said I torpedoed his sale, so apparently I'm the villain. Well, you evil person, you. Good for you. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's like if he thinks he can get it, that's fine. But call him out on it. I understand. Now, it's kind of different, like with crowdfunding, because you kind of understand that you're paying more for the product. When I've been doing some research on crowdfunding for books, and I don't have it completed yet. I hope to have it finished by next week. But I saw people like offering like a $20 paperback or less, like 15 or 10 for many times more than that. But of course, a lot of times it was like you'll get it autographed, you'll get a bookmark, you'll get a little something extra with it. So we'll see what happens. Carlene needs way more coffee if Carl is getting there first. Oh dear, that is scary. Oh, speaking of scary, I plan to be scary this weekend. I'll be doing some extra broadcasting at the MAPLD FanFest. It's a virtual convention that will be on YouTube and on Facebook, and we'll be sharing my share of it. I will be on at 4 p.m. This coming Friday and this coming Saturday in conjunction with this great comic and cosplay convention held by the Matteson, Illinois Public Library. And I'm very privileged. I want to thank Maria Gonzales for inviting me to participate. And we're going to have a good time. Friday at 4 p.m., 3 Central, I'll be talking about comic books, indies versus independents, and how you might possibly break into their ranks, either one. And then on Saturday, I'm joined by Jack Gonzales, and we're going to talk about creativity and world building. So please join us for those shows. And of course, we will be sharing on YouTube and on Facebook. So please join us and bring your questions because I'd love to talk to you, okay? Joe Bachman says, all of my side projects are currently on hold due to work this summer, but I'll give a shout out to Nicholas Anthony Tockert and Amanda Tockert. Both of them have author pages on Facebook with some great works available. That's true. They're both on Amazon. Fantastic authors. And Nick Tockert is currently working on a role-playing game in conjunction with Luke Stone. Luke and I did a play test of it a couple months ago. It runs like a top. Beautiful mechanics. And even if you've never played role-playing games before, it is your chance to get in on the ground floor on this. It is really great. And I'm looking forward to the finished product those two are putting out. Anyway, Joe, I hope your side projects, when your side projects finally get to some state of fruition and you want to promote, talk to me and let's see what we can do to help you do so, okay? And Christian Basil, Carl Wisman, so do I. Oh, yeah. And Carl Wisman is laughing his gluteus maximus off. I hope he can glue it back on. And I thought Brian was a bad influence. Teresa Dunn? Or more like, could be. You hope I'm a bad influence. Anyway, Cindy Cap says, nifty sci-fi and fantasy for sale on the Amazon sales page. Excuse me, Mindstorm for under $3 and Condemned Courier for about half off the price. Not the story, silly people. Well, Cindy Cap, definitely check that out. Check out the work of Cindy Cap. If you love her posts here, you've got to love her books, right? So please check them out and please support her. Okay, she's fantastic. And there we go. There is a link to her Amazon sales page via Bitly. Please check it out. That is awesome. Please check out the work of Cindy Cap and also sign up for a free monthly newsletter. John B. Pica, also check out Big Daddy Cool Shows on Facebook for cool stuff on live shows, including the Miskatonic Cabaret and Bamboozled. I saw that. That looks like so much fun. I'm going to have to check that out. Oh, I love what the Impossibilists are doing. So very cool. And there's Jessica Johnson on break. So good morning to everyone. Mwah, Jessica, how the heck are you? Hope you and I are doing well. And there is the Facebook page for Heroes for Kids out of Perryville, Missouri. A fantastic group of cosplayers that you got to check them out. Great on-model costumes. Plus, they sell a number of unique collectibles, fan collectibles that they use to raise money to benefit the children and the community. And really, really wonderful group. I'm proud to help them whenever I can. And Terry McIver, glad to see you, Terry. Hope your morning's going well. The recession must have skipped Northern Ireland. People spending money like it's burning a hole in their pocket. Well, good for the Irish. You can always count on the Irish to come out on top. Well, the thing is, people are spending money. Here in America, even with the Peter pandemic, that people need distraction. Terry, one of the best times for Hollywood was actually during the Great Depression because people wanted inexpensive entertainment. And right now, I've got to say, my Amazon sales have been really good. Not to the point where I can hashtag bring cookie home yet, but they're improving. They improve every month. But you got to work it. But yeah, well, good for Northern Ireland. I honestly hope they've got a handle on the Peter pandemic. I really do. Carl Wisman, Carly, we are the only ones on YouTube right now. Michaela, Meredith, and Sarah must be sleeping in. Well, darn them to heck. Well, Michaela might be on the job. She's probably picking up all the loose limbs and everything. And there we go. Heroes for Kids Comic Con, July 18th, 2021. It's been rolled over to next year for our safety, both vendors and guests and the attendees. So anyway, God bless you, Jessica, for that decision. And it's just going to come back twice as strong next year. So please join us. I will be there. And thus you must be as well. You have no choice. And we got some people coming up. Oh, this is so cool. The scroll, sometimes YouTube dumps their comments, and suddenly I'm so close to getting caught up, then boom, Hashtag real broadcaster problems. John B. Pica, I forgot to tune in last night. I need serious help with crowdfunding. I'm producing the content, marketing the content relentlessly, and not hitting goals. I really need some guidance on what I need to be doing differently. Well, John, check out the show last night. Maybe we've got a tip for you or two. And if not, reach out to me or Eric Hawkins or Luke Stone. Maybe they've got a fresh perspective that might reinvigorate your process there. And I'll watch the replay. Excellent, John B. Pica. Glad to hear that. And like I said, if you've got any follow-up questions, don't hesitate. And I'll granted, I've helped on a number of campaigns. I've run my own one, and I'm planning later this year to run another one. Caroline, I was almost still sleeping in. Well, I'm glad you took time out of your busy sleep schedule to be with us, Carly. You know I love you, and you know that I'm glad you're here. And Harley Slavic, glad you're here too. Greetings. Hope everyone is well. Check out harleyslavic.com for your collecting needs. And Clyde Hall says, please check out the monthly reviews and undercover entries like this at Doomrocket at doomrocket.com. The Casual Wednesdays weekly podcast keeps everyone informed on what's happening in the comic book world. Well, I bet you'll have a lot to talk about this week. What with DC and AT&T, they let me review comics, but don't hold that against them. Hey, I'd say that's a selling point for that site. Clyde is a great writer, and he's going to be appearing in the very first Doc Saga anthology, now in production. Carl Wisman, I am currently using an old 720p camera, and it's covered with cigar oil. I can just imagine. Well, the thing is, I don't smoke, and there's some sort of I think it's dust or something, but something gets on my camera. Which, by the way, you'll notice our camera is a lot nicer today. I had to reboot our system. You should reboot your laptop every couple of days, which I forget to do. But anyway, yeah, let's see if I missed anybody. No, it doesn't look like it. Anyway, the Monday we had a very pixelated picture on here, but it looks like we are on the beam today, looking as good as we are able given genetics. Anyway, Harley Slavic, if you want us to carry your product, want us to supply your store, then click the link for the information at harleyslavic.com. Check out that about link, and there you go. And headed back to work. Everyone have a fantastic day. Hugs to you and Cookie. Hugs and love to you and Lonnie and the family. Hope you have an excellent day, Jessica. Thank you for being here. And Cindy Cap, no need to wait until 2021 for great fiction. Oh, go to Smashwords. That's me. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Please check out my work on Smashwords, also on Amazon, where you can get me in paperback and in ebook form. And our book on Amazon reviews made less impossible. Is production of the physical copy is being held up because we're working on a project for someone else. Hi, Teresa, as well as someone else. Hi, Kadrolsha. And anyway, hopefully we'll have that later this year. But anyway, thank you, Cindy Kip. You are a darling. I appreciate you so much. And Harley Slavic, due to an agreement, we cannot supply NECA items to stores, or like NECA wafers. I love NECA wafers. Anyway, Carl Wisman is laughing at us. The lady is away, and I've been mowing her yard out of the little bit of goodness in my otherwise cold heart. She's not the problem mower. Oh, it's some. Oh, okay. I got my geography mixed up. I know that you have a somebody who is like a competitive mower, like it's an Olympic event or a marble race. Anyway, Linda Cox is back to work. Y'all have a great one. Linda, thank you for being here. You brighten our day by attending. Thank you for showing up. Hope you come back soon. And Cindy Cap, or here, go to Amazon and look at my name. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate that. You're the best. I adore you. And hashtag bring Cookie home. Hashtag keep Cookie home. Thank you, Robert Beatty. I appreciate that. Yeah, Cookie's got a brand new job. She's on her third week, halfway through her third week now. They're teaching her more stuff to do. I guess they heard she's a trainer. Was a trainer at Cracker Barrel, where she's still working part-time too, because her husband's a bum. But anyway, thank you, Robert. I do appreciate that. And the goal has not changed. It is still, even though it's a better job for her and she's loving it, it's bring Cookie home. And I hope that you all in the creative field have someone you want to bring home, even if it's yourself. All right. Monica O'Leary, speaking of Doctor Who, Brian, have you been to the Doctor Who store yet? No, I have not had time. I imagine they're probably open, but by appointment only. If I go, I'm calling you. I really am. I'm gonna have you give me a tour. Also, I finally figured out a way to put my Doctor Who video inventory on my phone, and that's important. So anyway, I do want to go there. That's in Indianapolis. It's the Doctor Who store, and it's basically turn over a paycheck or two. Harley Slavic, if you need a male actor for projects, then contact me at Harley Slavic, aspiring actor. Definitely do so. Thank you, Harley. And Christian Basil says, please help vote The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, a Doctor Who radio show, for Best of the Bay 2020. And yeah, definitely. Hey, Christian, share that on my profile page, please, and I'll put it on or unless you're able to put on Rising Tide. Let's see what we can do to get you some votes. Okay, brother? And I definitely want to vote in that, all right? And Harley Slavic Godzilla is now available on our website. He's tearing it up and he's setting it on fire with his radioactive breath. But check out harleyslavic.com/shop. And the news was somewhat unexpected for me. The one on DC Comics, yeah, that was a slap between the eyes there. I mean, ever since AT&T took over Warner's, they purchased Warner's like what, last year, I think it was. They went in with like billions of dollars of debt, and unfortunately, the one way to make their stock still look good is to cut expenses, which unfortunately means firing employees. I should know. So I feel bad for the DC employees, but I'm sure they'll pop up again. They'll bounce back. Need fun comics for more fun? Go to terraformcomics.com. Definitely, Cindy. Thank you very much for that. And John B. Pica, yes, indie comics are poised to inherit the earth. Marvel is doing more and more licensing, and I would expect to see DC do the same. Yeah, John, I was talking with a friend of mine this morning about the DC. Um, uh, it's not an implosion. Bloodbath is what many people are calling it. DC bloodbath. But I would understand if they'll ask top dollar for like Superman, Batman. No one will afford it but Marvel. And my understanding is they're going to keep producing the floppies, the regular monthly comic books, but just not as many of them. But I can see them licensing out characters. I would dearly love to write Metamorpho or Plastic Man. And I would return him back to the old Jack Cole, Plastic Man, him and Woozy Winks and everything. seriously love those stories, those classic stories, and even the old Arnold Drake stuff from the '60s or the Steve Skates stuff from the '70s. That was classic material. And I've only seen Plastic Man handled what I would consider to be well in the last few years. Tom Taylor does a very good version of him in the Injustice series. But I understand they're going to be moving more comics to the digital platform too. Because they've been doing, I know they've been doing some, like, I think Scooby Doo Team Up was digital first. I know they had a Smallville series for a couple of years past the close of the TV show. Plus, they've done stuff with Arrow on there, I believe. But I would definitely do a digital version of Plastic Man or Metamorpho. Um, and I think I'd be excited. I'd love to be able to, license it, for a reasonable price. My luck, I could probably only afford like the Green Team or Brother Power. Tomahawk would be a good one too. I'm old school. I'm old school all the way. Good morning, Matt Shore. Good to see you, sir. Hope your morning's going well. Harley Slavic says, still working on creating VHS releases, so look forward to that. That is very cool. Robert Bay says that's unfortunate. People had to lose their jobs, but DC has been making bad choices for years, especially under Dan Didio, and it's just a trickle effect. Well, the thing is, I think Dan Didio, I think history is going to vindicate him, just like the way that right now we're seeing Jim Shooter get some appreciation for what he did at Marvel. Where at the time, by the time he left Marvel in the late '80s, he was being crucified by the fan press. But now people are going, he made some good decisions. He really did overall. Um, I think Didio has done a very good job. I really do. I was really sorry when they let him go, and I think he's a better writer than a lot of people give him credit for. I've read a number of his works. Like, he did a pretty decent OMAC for the New 52 with Keith Giffen drawing. That wasn't half bad. And I hear his current Metalman with a buddy of mine, Shane Davis, has been really, really good. So, and I loved a lot of the decisions he's made. I really have. I think the fact that he's done a lot of good experimental formats, like the Walmart $5 books, has been a boon. I'm not real thrilled with the variant covers all over the place, but I do like the fact that they have made them affordable, unlike many of them. So yeah, Dan Didio, all of the DC people have made bad mistakes, but yeah, and that's sad because a lot of freelancers are going to be looking for work. And I expect a number of them to go to Kickstarter. Terry McIver says, highly recommend the upcoming indie comic Rampage Roadkill from Hasm Productions. I do too, because I have supported that book. Please check them out. I think they've got a couple days left to go, but go to hasm.com or go to Kickstarter and look up Rampage Roadkill. I keep forgetting that title. Rampage Roadkill. It's going to be a terrific book. It looks good. It really does. Eric Hawkins, you think all the DC layoffs have anything to do with that god awful Wonder Woman cover? Having a person that does mostly porn alien art and fills her Twitter with what it might not have been a good choice. Eric, after you left, Luke Stone and I were talking about that. What Eric is referring to is a variant cover for an upcoming issue of Wonder Woman that it basically shows Wonder Woman, and I can't think of a better word for it. She calls it realistic. I call it dumpy. She looks like, you know, she looks like some sort of emo kid, that girl that hasn't should have graduated from college like 4 years earlier, but is still in her sophomore year. Um, it is not attractive, but she says it's real. This is how she would look if she existed. But the woman does more realistic art than that. And a number of people have given her pushback on it, that it doesn't fit the Wonder Woman character. And she's, and I think it's just strict interpretation. I think it would have made a fine pinup, but I certainly wouldn't lead off a cover with it. But to each their own. Some people like it. I'm in that court. I don't care for it. And I noticed something else. You talk about variant covers. I noticed Dynamite Entertainment was crowdfunding one of their variant covers, and it was an attractive cover. Excuse me, but if you give us X now of money, we'll make this one of the variant covers, and it's the sort of thing that a lot of indie people do on stretch goals. So I don't think the layoffs can be blamed to her cover. I certainly don't think it would have increased DC's fortunes. I don't think that cover is the one to put on your cover to increase your bank. You're going to go to like John Boy Myers or Neil Adams or Mike Grell or some of the painter. You're gonna get Alex Ross. Which, by the way, there's a rumor going around that Alex, at least before the bloodbath, that Alex Ross has been courted by DC Comics to return. For the last 4 or 5 years, he's been doing a slew of beautiful covers. Of course, that's what he does. He's a great artist for Marvel Comics and Dynamite. But word has it that DC has wooed him back, and he could be bringing Mark Waid with him because the two are still good friends. And Wade was very unhappy with the management at DC at one point, and a lot of that management is now gone. So we'll see what happens. Christian Basil says, just FYI, and not to toot my horn too much. Well, I would pay to see your horn tooted. I do that for Michaela Jade. We're at 36,500 plus, but Meredith projects we'll hit 37,000 by the end of the month. Start a betting pool. That is so sure, Christian. I ain't taking the bet. How's that sound? I want to see you hit 37 or fast. And he's doing it. That show is taking off like a rocket. You all ought to check it out and find out why. Now, Uncle Larry is getting very sleepy, so I must go feed your sweet tooth. Visit Fudgelicious on Facebook. Special orders welcome and shipped anywhere. And I endorse Fudgelicious because Monica, she makes great fudge. My diet like screams in agony when I scarf an eye load of her delicious fudge. I love her key lime fudge with a passion. I love key lime anyway. That's one of my favorite flavors. But anyway, Monica, thank you for being here. I miss you, sweetheart. And I hope we get to talk sometime. I love you. And there she is, Amy Hale. Good morning, all. Mwah. Speaking of people I love, there she is. Great author. AuthorAmyHale.com. Author Amy Hale on Facebook. And Amy Hale's Angels, also on Facebook. She is awesome. Glad you're here, Amy. Hope your morning's going well. And there she is. Mwah. Hi there, Sarah. Sarah, love you too, hon. Hope your morning or the rest of your night has gone well. Hope all is well with you, sweetie. And Eric Hawkins, from what I noticed on Kickstarter book campaigns, it looked like most of them failed because they wanted tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. I saw plenty that had 5 to 10K, but it still didn't reach their goal. I was noticing that too, at least on Kickstarter. Indiegogo seems a little bit more sympathetic, but yeah, there were people asking for like 5 figures for their books. I am not going anywhere near that. I have a figure in mind. It's more than what I asked for Spencer Spook, but I'm thinking about doing an Indiegogo for Doc Saga and seeing if I can increase my mailing list in doing so. When we talked last night about the strengths of Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, each has their own advantages. And it seems to me, I checked out I saw about 7 or 8 prose book projects on Indiegogo. They were not asking for quite as much. There were a couple that did get like mid-range 4 figures. But it looks like they were ones that built their social platform, which is very helpful. So that I understand, but a lot of the other places were doing okay. I'm thinking I would maybe try for maybe around $500 to $750 or so. To see what I could get, and if nothing else, maybe I'll sell an extra book or 2, right? Anyway, that's. I'm still in the middle of researching that, so we'll see what happens. Harley Slavic says, check out this Godzilla figure at Harley Slavic. It's a 12-inch Godzilla, and who couldn't use that? Shut up, Christian. Anyway, I started to say something. I knew Christian's ears would perk up when I did. I just love Cindy. Isn't that good enough? I love Cindy too. We all love Cindy because she's awesome. And she's very talented. And not just a talented writer, also a great craftsperson. Boy, can she crochet up a storm. And Carleen Sarah, she says, and there she is, darling Tina McHenry. Mwah, Tina. Doing my morning sneak at work. Happy Hump Day to everyone. And if you haven't checked out Paradox Wars by Skystorm and Robert W. Hickey, you should. He is funded and working on stretch goals as well. And check that out on Kickstarter. That sounds good. I'm a fan of Robert Hickey. I've got a lot of his old comic books from the 80s and 90s. And also check out Hasm.com and check out the artwork and projects of Rodney Fike. He is awesome. And we're going to have him on Clever Title Pending one of these weeks. We were going to have him last night, but our wires got crossed, as will happen. But it's not like that's the last episode I'll ever do. In fact, next week, this coming Tuesday, I will be talking to Jen Thompson of Neoleaf Press. She is a publisher. She is an editor. She is a writer. She is a promoter of book shows, and we'll talk to her about her enterprises, and hopefully you'll bring some great questions for her like you did for Luke Stone and Eric Hawkins last night. And then after that, the week after that, on Tuesday, August 25th, I'm going to be talking to Jason Nugent, USA Today best-selling author. He writes horror, he writes science fiction, he writes all kinds of good stuff, and we hope you'll come in and check him out too. He's a really nice guy. You will love him. And then on Tuesday, September 1st, we're going to have artist Clayton Merwin in. He does covers. He does beautiful, beautiful covers and great line artwork. He's been working with Charles Milhouse on his Captain Hawkland series, doing amazing work and does commissions. And so please bring your questions about how you survive as an artist in these trying times. And Carl Wisman from YouTube says hello to Sarah, who is also on YouTube, saying hi, guys. And Cindy Cap says sign up for Rising Tides newsletter. Much fun and amusing links. Thank you very much. And let's get the banner for that going. All right, enough. And before he goes, please don't forget, I also have a tip jar. If you like what you see and hear, please consider a donation that will go towards the beautification, not just of this program, but also of our publications. And you can do that if you go to paypal.me/Rising Tide, capital B, capital K, capital M. That's Rising Tide BKM. And all contributions will be privately and gratefully acknowledged. But if you want my, let's see, oops, there we go. All right, there we go. There's the newsletter banner. And that's at bit.ly/Rising Tide without the vowels, RSNGTD01. Check it out. And please subscribe to my newsletter. And please share that message so that other people might want to read it too, because we have all, like we said, Cindy said rather, we have secret links. Last couple of months we've been putting in marble races, my new passion, marble races. I found a third channel that does pretty good marble races too. And also our fascination with the Panic broadcast of 1938 continues, because we had a special on when Buffalo, New York celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Panic broadcast with one of their own, and despite all their efforts, received similar results. And it's a fascinating half-hour special. Not just that, but also, is that my honey?
Yeah.
Yay! Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Oh, my cookie is home. Yay. Anyway, they've released her. She's run away. But anyway, we also include the Panic broadcast. Mwah! Love you, honey.
Love you.
That was my honey's hand. Shut up, Christian. Anyway, but no, it's and we also include the broadcast, which, if anything, is even scarier than the original. It's really good. But anyway, please check out our newsletter and also sign up for Cindy Kep's newsletter too. And don't forget to tip your host. Yes, thank you very much. Please tip. Like I said, we are trying to constantly improve the look and sound of this show, and that will help. John B. Pica says there has not been a recession in the U.S. Retail sales are up by 15% above pre-COVID. Well, actually, the thing was, I know that a lot of indicators, such as unemployment, has risen precipitously, and at one point it matched that of the Great Depression. But I think it's more or less that we're fighting to stay out of a recession, or at least as much of a recession as there could be, because we've had some serious ones in my lifetime, such as back in the 70s. I mean, back in the 70s, it wasn't unusual for people to pay 15% on mortgage loans. So we'll see what happens. And it's a story the media refuses to tell. Well, that's the nature of the beast now with the 24-hour news cycle. nobody's going to watch Fox News to see a kid rescued from a tree. That's, nobody. The thing is, I say nobody wants to see good news, but then John Krasinski had that great good news show at the start of the Peter pandemic, and it was so insanely popular that one of the networks bought it up from him. Hey, networks, I'm available. If you want Nevermind the Furthermore, let's talk. Christian Basil, Sarah, and Michaela are sleeping in, and I'm not present for this. This is a farce, he says from Facebook. It is not a farce. It's an interactive talk show. Duh. Anyway, and I can see poor Christian. He realizes they're not here. I know. It's rough, but we'll just soldier on as is. And Batman approves, so should you. Because, everybody knows this show is just nothing but slickness here, right? Gordon, how can you say that? Oh, okay. All right, I understand. So we're always striving to do better, and in time, I'm sure we will. See, Superman knows. He knows this stuff. Anyway, let's get back to your comments because you guys are far more interesting than I am. And let's see. Let's get past Christian's tears. And Carl Wisman, Sarah just showed up on YouTube. Yay! YouTube is the better for it. And I was almost there, and boom! Hashtag erectile dysfunction. Drink. Oh, what I can't say. Robert Beatty says, I can't wait to start decorating for Halloween. I just bought the stuff yesterday for 2 big props. Oh, that's cool. I love Halloween decorations. I really do. One of the great things about October, hopefully, is I may get to do some shows, which means that I'll probably be driving back late at night and I'll get to see Halloween decorations. That was kind of a nice part of my fall when I was doing shows. Oh, back when I was doing shows so long ago. And you timed this very well, Tina. I'm very proud of you because there's kind of like a 90-word limit on messages here on StreamYard. So, which I recommend StreamYard.com very highly. And thank you to everyone who has supported, shared, and loved on Roadkill Rampage, says Tina McInnery. We cleared the 75 backer incentive and unlocked the exclusive mini print stretch goals. Next one we are working on is the enamel pin of Ace's boot stretch goal, and with 5 more backers, and we are sharing the love too with 2 issues of Prowl from Adam Fields. And check out that link there for the Kickstarter campaign. I have pledged to it, and I urge you all to do the same. Hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday. Back to listening, Tina. Thank you for that message. Appreciate it so much. And you rub the lamp or whatever you want, and your wish comes true. There's Michaela Jade watching us and listening to us from YouTube. Michaela, glad to see you. Hello, everyone, she says. And Carl Wisman says, the lovely Michaela, that she is, the star of MichaelaCon. And hello, Michaela, says Sarah. Terry McIver says, highly recommend checking out upcoming indie Roadkill Rampage from writer Rodney Fike and artist Eamon Hill. And there is a bit.ly address to that Roadkill Rampage. And again, I have sponsored it. It looks like a nifty little horror comic, and I urge the Nevermorians to do the same as we pass the 1-hour mark on this broadcast. And hey, Michaela, says Carlene, and she says, we do have an Olympic mower, Brian, the neighbor to the north of us, at least twice a week. Wow. I can barely do it once every 2 weeks. I hate mowing the lawn. I find it boring. And plus, every now and then, the bees come out on the property, and I'm not a bee person at all. So Christian Basil says, Cookie is married. Oh, that poor guy is so screwed. I wish. Anyway, not enough at least. Anyway, Cookie, the goddess Cookie, is married. Yes, and has been for 29 of the most exciting years of her life, unintentionally sometimes. Christian Basil, Doctor Who store, that the North American Who store? That it is, Christian. It's only an hour away from me. And you have no idea how much willpower it takes for me to not go there, like, every day. So yeah, we're about an hour away from that. People who run it are lovely. I really want to check it out one of these times. Cookie won't let me because she knows what will happen. I will go in. I'll be like Wilma and Betty on the Flintstones. Charge it. So yeah. But Christian, you gotta come up here to the Midwest, man. If you do, I'll put you up in the spare room and we'll go down to the Who store together. Well, I'm just taking my friend Christian. It's for him, honey. I'll see you in a couple days. And Carl Wisman, the address of the Doctor Who store is 8901 South State Road 67 in Canby, Indiana. That's just outside of Indianapolis. And welcome to Nevermind the Police Box. That's right. Oh, this show is bigger on the inside than out. Harley Slavic, if I started making comics, I would like to do Catman comics. Well, there is a Catman who is in the public domain. Don't do the DC one, though. They will get you. And Roadkill Rampage, I got it wrong the wrong ways as Terry McIver. Yeah, and I didn't know the difference, dude. So anyway, I haven't had enough coffee. I guess maybe that's both of our problems. Harley Slavic says, who would like their comic as a motion comic on VHS? That would be fun. That would be great fun. Robert Beatty, he's the reason for the red trunks and we're taken away, and high collars and armored suits. Yeah, I got tired of all the piping on everyone's uniforms in the DC universe for the new 52. But Superman's back, and that was under the Didio regime. When about 3 years ago, when Superman got his trunks back, it didn't matter to me. It was still the same character. That was it. And hello, Marley. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Carl, says Michaela Jade, as Carl picks himself off the floor. John B. Pica, major publishers should not be crowdfunding for anything that pisses him off. Yeah, well, you can argue whether Dynamite Entertainment is a major publisher. I see crowdfunding as a new means of distribution. I shouldn't think that they need to crowdfund. That kind of makes me wonder about their setup. Of course, then again, most of what Dynamite does is licensed, so that's expensive. That is super expensive. But yeah, I can see it to a degree. I understand why they would go there, but I agree. I don't get upset by it, but the thing is, you're going to get major people who come from the majors and crowdfund their campaigns. Like I think Matt Faction has done a couple. Cullen Bunn has done several. Well, Ethan Van Sciver, he just did one for his Cyberfrog book that it is setting records as far as the take on it. And we're not going to get into the politics of it. But that's maybe how the business works anymore. Who knows? But the thing is, DC or Marvel would have to probably hire a company to do fulfillment on that. And that's a headache and a half. Now, what Wonder Woman cover is that? I'm looking for it now. John, the best thing I can do for you is not tell you where it is. I know that boundingintocomics.com had an article on it yesterday. It's not very attractive. Really, it's not my taste in art at all, especially for a superhero book. Let's just say that if it were my first exposure to the character, I wouldn't buy that comic. And the cover should make you want to look inside and buy the comic. So yeah, John, you'll thank me if I don't tell you where it is. Cindy Cap, go Christian, go Christian, go Christian. Oh yeah. Harley Slavic, on my distributor's website, I saw that they have 2018 and older VHS releases. Fair amount of the newer ones and out of stock, so VHS still have life on it. Yeah, Harley, that's the thing. I found out that there are actually people that still have their old, like the 12-inch laser discs from the 70s still going. And there's quite an active trade on eBay for people who have like specific models of VHS players, like one that doesn't recognize regions, that can play any VHS tape from anywhere in the world. And also Betamax. There are still collectors who hold on to their Betamax, even though I think they don't even make the blank tapes for them anymore. So there's a lot of nostalgia goes on in the electronics field as well as comics. Bill Sarton, hello, Bill Sarton, glad to see you. Happy Wacky Wednesday to you, Brian, and all the Nevermorians. Well, a wacky Wednesday to you, my friend. Hope your morning is going well. Robert Beatty, I heard rumblings of a Superman 78 and Batman 89 comic series next year. Do you think it's real? If so, what does the DC shakeup affect this? If anything, it might push it forward. Yeah, I had heard about the Superman 78. I would love to do a George Reeves one. But I read an article, an interview with Dan Didio from a couple of years ago, said the real holdup there is using the image of George Reeves. because you have to pay many of the actors for their likenesses in as part of the licensing agreement. That's why the Smallville comic would be so expensive to produce, because you're having to use like Tom Welling, Kristen Crook, and Justin Hartley, etc. Their likenesses, because that's marketable for those guys and gals. And it's the same way for even the actors who have passed on from the Adventures of Superman. I guess that would be all of them by now, since Noelle died a few years ago. I miss Noelle. I used to get Christmas cards from her. I loved her. Anyway, Amy Hale doing okay today. Got one sick kid, Matt. Oh, tell Matt I hope he gets well fast. And he stayed home from work today. Otherwise, we are all well. Today's John's birthday. Oh my God! Happy birthday, John Hale, Mr. Amy Hale. Oh my God, I've got to wish him a happy birthday. Happy birthday, John Hale. Good to hear. And what is he now? 23, 24, I think. Anyway, he's a young pup and still alive, and he loves to wag his tail, especially in my face. That's kind of sick. Anyway, hope you guys hope everybody else stays well. Amy, take care of yourself. Take care of that Matt for us, and send our love to you and the rest of the family. Hashtag bring Cookie home, says Bill Sarton. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And bring Cookie home, says on a hashtag from Christian Basil. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it so much. Harley Slavic says, I notice lots of people crowdfunding let greed take over and they fall as a result. And it could be, there could be a backlash against the larger publishers, but for indie publishers, independent publishers, it's a godsend. It really is, because it's a new audience, a new way to get our message out. I did it 2.5 years ago with Spencer Spook with the help of Eric Hawkins, and we did well. And there's no way that book would have come out any other way, frankly. Cindy Cap, I'm almost finished with another Afghan and an amigurumi dragon. Oh my gosh, please post pictures of that. That sounds cool. On our League of Impossibilists crowdfunding, our initial goal was 25 patrons to start publishing the webcomic, but we went ahead and started posting without reaching the goal, so that those who do support us get content. By the way, we are only 22 people away from that initial goal of 25. Well, you're picking up people, John. That's how it starts. It starts small, but you keep pushing, and of course, you can promote on my pages. You have permission. Yeah, it just starts out slow. I know it's frustrating, but but to build it organically rather than like go to Fiverr and buy supporters, that's it's got better chance for long-term success. Harley Slavic says, I want to get a brick and mortar store location, but I need at least $100,000 to be able to afford rent and other expenses. Stores are expensive. That's true. You might consider a modest Indiegogo or GoFundMe campaign, preferably GoFundMe, because GoFundMe, I believe, is also you get whatever you earn minus the transmission fees and minus the office fees for the site itself. But consider that not all 100,000. You'll get laughed out of the forum. But start out small with a specific expense that will bring you closer to that goal. So that's a suggestion for me. If anyone else has a crowdfunding suggestion for Harley Slavic, please share. All right. And the marble races are trip. The announcers are so serious. Oh my God, I love the announcers, especially on the jelly races. I do like the I want to call it FUBAR, but the other one that we've been sharing. They're pretty good too. They're real, and the early ones don't have any announcers, and it's just not as much fun. I really like them, and there's some good ones on the new one I found. I'll have to share that with my newsletter people, which you can sign up for. Check out the banner that's going across your screen right now, and please sign up for my newsletter. And also, please go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button on any one of the videos, and please hit that bell so you can be notified of when I'm going to be doing stuff next, which the next broadcast we have will be 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern on another Nevermind the Furthermore on Friday morning. Also on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, I will be at the MAPLD FanFest for the Matteson, Illinois Public Library. We're going to have a big Comic-Con on the line, a virtual one, and you're all invited, each and every one of you. And I'll be talking about starting out in comics on Friday, and on Saturday Also at 4 p.m. on our various outlets, including the MAPLD FanFest page here on Facebook. Excuse me, I will be sharing our broadcast then. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a good time. All right, and on Saturday, we're going to be talking about creating new works of fiction and world building with Jack Gonzales. We're going to have a real good time, so please join us, all right? And, excuse me, Cindy Kemp's newsletter says Bill Sartin is something to tweet about. Be one of the lucky ducks when you click on CKOEPP.com. Yes, definitely. And just the bird is the word, all right? And news does not try to inform opinion. It instead tries to form opinion. Well said, Cindy. And that's it. And too many people are now taking opinion pieces as legitimate journalism. I say that the minute you start quoting unknown people from Twitter, you've lost the argument. Michaela Jade says, I call BS. I never get to sleep in. I'm here. Well, we missed you at the start of the show, darling. That was what it was. And still can't believe Christian looked up certain dino images. For those of you who are contemplating looking up dino porn, Christian, what was your reaction when you found some? Yeah. Yes. If you want to see a definite dumpster fire, check out dino porn on Google. It will repulse you. It even made me sick, and I can eat breakfast during an autopsy. You know what I'm saying? But poor Michaela, says Carl Witzman from YouTube. And on Facebook, Christian Basil says, Harley, I did. I taught dino porn. Anyway, Bill Sarn says, join the far out and groovy people when you click on Sarnart76 on Facebook for the artwork of Bill Sarton. For all things from yesteryear, I continue to pound the pandemic with my daily warm-up sketches and other zaniness. So check out the artwork of Bill Sarton, where everything old is new again. Thank you for that, Bill. And Carlene says, no, you're not a B person. You're definitely an A person, as an AA++ person. Oh, Carly, thank you so much for that. Or she might not have been talking to me, but thank you so much. Anyway, Michaela J says, didn't mean to sound snooty there, just meant like haha. No, you never sound snooty, Michaela. You really don't. You are very grounded. And Michaela, snooty? Never, says Carl Witzman, and I know he's sincere about that, as am I. John B. Pica, the Superman 78 and Batman 89 will be licensed to Dynamite or IDW. And that makes perfect sense, John. Excuse me, because then they can spend the expense, and it can do nothing but help Dynamite. I'm sure of that. I'm sure Marvel's probably got their checkbook out and probably wants to license some of their DC's top names too. And the thing is, if somebody was to do like a younger reader's version of both of those properties, just like IDW is doing with the Avengers and some of the other Marvel IPs, I'd consider it. I'd be there. And Meredith Longren, good morning, my darling. Good morning, friends. Getting some work done while I listening in the background. Hugs. Oh, we love you, giantess. Hope you are doing well, sweetheart. And we haven't loaded your audio clip yet, but we will. And Cindy Kemp says, Facebook, Bill Sarton 76 for vintage cartooniness. Check it out, please. And we are currently caught up with your remarks, and great ones they are. So let's take a little pause for the cause here and listen to the dulcet tones of Mr. Carl Witzman.
If you love comic books, you'll love comicspriceguide.com, the world's largest comic book price guide. Basic membership is free, and you'll have access to an amazing message board with a fantastic community of your fellow collectors. You can also upload your comic book inventory and manage its value in real time. Learn more about your favorite comics with their database of over 950,000 comics. And it's a great place to sell, buy, or trade comics. So celebrate being a geek and sign up for comicspriceguide.com today. Looking for highly entertaining pop culture podcasts with high production values? Then check out the Journey into Comics podcast network at journeyintocomics.com. Nate Phillips and his crew deliver an amazing variety of downloadable podcasts on a variety of pop culture subjects, from comic books to entertaining with friends, from Doctor Who to professional wrestling. If you have a geek interest, The Journey into Comics podcast network is made just for you. For a complete downloadable selection of their shows, go to journeyintocomics.com. You can also subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and Stitcher Radio. So, for an incredible selection of pop culture podcasts that consistently deliver insight and humor, check out journeyintocomics.com today.
All right. Thank you very much to comicspriceguide.com and journeyintocomics.com for their ongoing support of this show. Let's get back to your comments. Harley Slavic says, thank you for the suggestion, Brian. Do you think 20,000 would be a good place to start, or do you think I need to have a lower goal? I definitely think you should start at lower. If anyone wants to weigh in on this, I think you should. Also, Harley, have you supported any of the crowdfunding campaigns? Because if people see that you are part of the community, that will help. And it shows like $20 here, $10 there, even $5. Even just sending $5 to someone to, just as an attaboy or attagirl, to just get them that much closer to their goal, and to give them like a little pat on the back and say, keep on creating, do what you do. I would do something very modest, like a few $100s. Is there a piece of equipment that would help you do your job better and move you closer to getting that shop? See what I'm saying? Start out small, because I knew someone a few years ago. He was a jerk though, but he wanted to put out one comic book. He asked for $50,000, and I think he had actually gotten some artwork. I think he had connived some people into giving it to him. But anyway, but be that as it may, he was asking for $50,000, and what he got mostly was laughter. I think he barely got 1%, or I don't even think he got 1% of what he was looking for. And being Kickstarter, which meant he got none of it. I think if you make your goals more modest and then build from there. Let's say there's a piece of equipment that costs, say, $300. So you ask for $400, because you also have to account for the amount, the 10% or so, that you're going to pay Kickstarter or Indiegogo or GoFundMe for processing your credit cards and for hosting the platform you're on. So start out small, then ask for a little more for the next project. Like I said, a piece of equipment maybe, or just basically, or go to GoFundMe and say, hey, listen, here's what I need, and put up your amount, but don't be surprised if it takes forever to get it, is the thing. But you're a good man at promotion though, so I think you've got a better chance than most in doing it. So but yeah, I'd say start more modestly. But if anyone else has a different opinion, we'd love to hear it. Terry McIver says, looking forward to Indie Comics Green Tempest going into production also. Well, good. Yeah, Green Tempest has been on the books for a while, hasn't it? If that's the one I'm thinking of. But very cool, very cool. Always glad to see more indie comics coming out. John B. Pica, Brian, just saw the ad for Comics Price Guide. Rick Froge hasn't posted since last Friday. Is he okay? Yeah, he is. He doesn't post as much as he normally does, and he's had some health issues as of late, and some other things. But no, he's, as far as I know, he's still in good health. I think I heard from him a few days ago, in fact. So, Robert Beatty, I want to know why any of you felt the need to look up dino porn. Even I have never been that I go, hey, dino porn, let's check that out. Well, my problems are easily diagnosed and open to the public. Christians, I have no idea. I warned him not to. And of course, hey, Brian, I'll just look up dino porn. What's the worst I could see? That is the worst you could see, Christian. And I'm so sorry you had to. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, some people just have to have their hands put on the stove. You know what I mean? And find out that the flame is hot. So anyway, Bill Sargent says apparently there's not too much of an issue with using George Reeves likeness. DC used it in their animated 75th anniversary tribute recently, so I wouldn't rule out a George Reeves Superman comic just yet. Yeah, Bill, but there's a difference between an animated tribute versus like a full-fledged project that makes money off of it, because the estate of George Reeves might have something to say about that. which is why, like, I remember this was about 25 years ago. One of the very first uh, instances, it was for some company that was licensing the likeness of Bruce Lee, and they had to contact the Bruce Lee estate. They had to make financial arrangements with them. It's not as simple as DC owns the show so they can use his likeness. There's a whole bunch of complicated things that go on with that bill that we are not privy to. But Dan Didio, when he was publisher, said that that is an issue. Just like when if they do Batman '89, they're going to have to license the Michael Keaton, probably the state of Michael Gove. There's just like there's just a whole bunch of legal things, a bunch of loopholes that they got to get around, and hoops they got to jump through. So it's just not as easy as hey, let's start the project. So it's I'm not ruling it out. In fact, I would love to write that book, that Superman book. I had an idea for it years ago that I think is um so viable. If I had any links to DC management, I would be trying to contact them. As it is, I don't. And if I did, I have fewer of them now than I did on Monday. So anyway, so yeah, I would love to. I'd support that book. I really would. Cindy Kepp says, check out the original Skyman Battles the Master of Steam, because who doesn't need groovy fiction? Give a Nazi a slug to the mug. Thank you very much, Cindy. It's available on Amazon. Please check it out. And it's been selling pretty darn good as of late. And y'all may want to pick up a copy and find out why. Check out the original Skyman Battles the Master of Steam. Oh, we already read that. Brian, move on. Okay, a bird and her archer help a dog and his barons stop the production of maniacal killers. That's Animal Eye. Check it out at Amazon.com, also at BearPublications.com. That's Cindy Kepp's newest work, and it's got some legs on it, if you know what I mean. There's more to come. And Harley Sivak, I have supported a few Kickstarters. Well, there you go. I would support a couple in Indiegogo as well. There are plenty of them, including Luke Stone has a store there, as does Eric Hawkins. If you haven't picked those up, well, I think you've picked up Luke's. I think you've got Luke's, but support a couple of those, get those on the books, and because, like I said, I think people appreciate that you're part of the community, supporting it as well as asking from it. So it helped me, and it's I'm confident when I go back to Kickstarter with my next project that I will do a modest amount, and I expect I'll get it. Michaela Jade, I have reached a milestone in my writing career. I was again asked to work on a project with another author. Never in my dreams did I think that particular thing would happen. Hashtag keep dreaming. Isn't that glorious? That's, Michaela, in my opinion, that's when you've made it to the next level. I had that happen a few years ago, where people were like, hey, Brian, we've got this project. Would you like to be involved? And it was, sometimes it was people who were at that higher level reaching down to, give me a hand up. So, believe me, I understand. Isn't that fantastic? Good work, Michaela. Good for you. Carl Wisman says from YouTube, if you create a new character, would you want just everyone copying and making money off it? We have copyrights and trademarks for a reason. Exactly, Carl. In fact, I walked away from a deal recently because I was told that the minute it happened, that somebody would violate my copyright on it. And they even told me who it was, and I said, no, I'm not gonna stand for it. I will find another way to put this book out if I can't rely on everyone in the publishing team being on my side. So anyway, that's me being cranky. But yeah, and I've seen, like, on Kickstarter, and why Kickstarter doesn't stop it, I have no idea. And the thing is, you can't report it as a patron. It has to be the company or the people who own the IP have to make the complaint that the Kickstarter will listen to. But yeah, which in one way does save a lot of problems for creators on the platform. But there was somebody about 2 months ago was trying to put out a Star Wars comic, and just very recently there was someone that was trying to put out a Batman comic saying, "Oh, we're fans. This is fan fiction." You know what? It's still copyright violation, and we can talk about that sometime. fan fiction is still copyright violation. It does not matter whether you intend to make money off of that. Go to fair use. Look up fair use on copyright.gov. Those are the people in charge of copyrights. And one of the first things they say is it doesn't matter whether you make money on it or not. The idea is, does the original IP owner lose money potentially from it? So yeah, I would, I fight for it, and it's a character I really believe in. So I'm willing to fight for that character and make sure it gets the best treatment possible. Way to go, Michaela. Yes, Carl, I agree with you completely. Cindy Cap says, yes, using someone's likeness without permission, even if it's a publicly available one like social media, news source, etc., is a copyright problem. A major newspaper publisher ran into some trouble with the pic of the POTUS. Yeah, that's it. This stuff especially actors, because they have unions like the Screen Actors Guild. I believe that's become an issue with the Screen Actors Guild in the last couple of decades, especially as computer technology gets better and better. So, yeah, I mean, I expect it will happen one day, but the thing is, it's going to be an expensive book because there's people that got to get paid. Terry MacGyver says, with the DC cuts, do you think we'll see a few more Marvel does DC comics coming out? It might. Yeah, I think you might. That's a very good point. Back in the day, DC and Marvel had done some crossover books like Superman, a couple of Superman and Spider-Man, X-Men and the New Teen Titans, Batman and the Hulk, Superman and Gen 13, before they bought Wildstorm. So yeah, Terry, that's an excellent point I hadn't considered, but I expect that if they license it, we're going to see some crossovers again. That's exciting. And the reason for those of you who don't know, the reason why the DC Marvel crossover trend kind of dried up long ago was that back when, Bill Jemas, that's right, was the publisher at Marvel. He and then editor-in-chief Joe Quesada basically talk smack on DC about how terrible they were, how boring they were. And after that, I think they only got one project going, which was the amazing JLA and Avengers team up with Kurt Busiek and the amazing George Perez. But other than that, there's been no interaction because then publisher Paul Levitt said that as long as Quesada is employed by Marvel, we will never have a team. Of course, Levitz retired a few years ago, but apparently Levitz wasn't the only person they peeved off with that. Carlene says, congratulations, Michaela. I agree. Oh, Michaela, I'm so proud of you. You've done good, girl. But Terry, I agree with you. Maybe we will. Maybe we will see it. I think that would be great, depending on which properties they acquire. Cindy Cap says the pic was somebody's wedding photo of the POTUS at the POTUS's golf club. The POTUS dropped in to congratulate them, and the paper snitched the photo from the bride's social media. Yeah, that's and that's the thing. The internet is the great destroyer of copyright. Just because you see it there doesn't mean you own it. Says the guy who's, am I right, Superman? Yes, young man. That's a copyright violation. Way to think of it now after you've used me. Who agrees with you? Okay, if you hear it from Batman, then you know it's the truth. Anyway, let's get back to your comments. Harley Slavic says, got it, and thank you for the advice. Something I would be needing would be a printer compatible with Square, but I think something that would be doable would be just more resources for inventory or promotional material. Well, if you wanted racks, for instance, for your shelving for your place when you get it, or if you wanted to get them a more sophisticated register system like the top of the line Square reader or whatever, that would be a worthwhile expenditure of money. And I could see going to someplace like GoFundMe to try to get it. Robert Bay says, I'm drawing a blank. Who's the artist who always draws Superman in Christopher Reeve's likeness? Did he pay his estate for Chris's likeness? There's a number of artists who do it, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. But I'm thinking of one. Gosh, who am I thinking of? I know that Alex Ross has done a couple, and whether he's paid them or not, I'm not sure, to be honest. But I know a lot of fan artists do not do that. Anyway, continuing the story, Cindy Cap says the bride issued a cease and desist, and good for her. And most of the time, that's what's needed. That's all that happens. But as I was telling somebody last night, keep in mind that Marvel Comics, even before Disney acquired them, or actually after, excuse me, it was the Walt Disney Corporation, right around the time they bought Marvel Comics. Disney sued a daycare center because somebody had painted some of the Disney characters in the children's rooms. And since they were charging money and putting it on their website as like a selling feature, Disney sued them, took them to court. Terry McIver said, there's a lot of content in the public domain. Have you ever thought of writing a comic covering something in there that's already popular and putting your spin on it? Actually, I do have something in the works. Of a very popular public domain character, but I've got a crazy spin on it that I think people will appreciate. I love the public domain. I really do. Now, Skyman is licensed from Ron Franz, so that's not public domain. The stories are, but the character is not. But there are many others that are really intriguing. In fact, I've done some stories for another publisher of some public domain characters, which I can't really talk about since we don't have contracts signed yet. But I'm very proud of the stories. One's a novel, and two are short stories. But we'll be seeing them hopefully later this year. Let's see. John B. Pica says, Warner Brothers owns the likeness of Christopher Reeve and Michael Keaton in perpetuity. They saw what Lucas did and emulated his genius. Yeah, but the DC will still have to pay for using them, even though they are owned by Warner's and now AT&T, because that was a sticking point back in Marvel's bankruptcy days. Because when was it Carl Icahn bought Marvel and tried to use it as a cash cow to pay off all of his junk bond. The guy that used to own Revlon, that he used it to basically pay off the due money on his junk bonds, or his junk stock, rather, I should say, and fell behind because Marvel basically helped destroy the direct sales market at that point, and sent it into a tailspin that in many ways, we've never recovered from. But one of the things they did was when they acquired their toy company, and that's how they got Avi Arad on that, who went on to produce some of the early Marvel movies. Anyway, they basically said, well, we're going to save money by not paying the toy company for using their IP, since we're both owned under the same umbrella. And the guy who still had an interest in the toy company sued Marvel because basically he said, no, you still need to pay me something for it. It got messy. So I still say there's going to probably be some money spent on getting those likenesses, even though the company, there's a line of progression. It gets complicated. I think Amalgam Comics should come back since Harley's Life. I love Amalgam Comics so much. That was a special mashup of characters from DC and Marvel, such as Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate were combined to be Doctor Strange Fate. And what was it? The Flash and the Ghost Rider were combined to become Speed Demon. Storm and Wonder Woman were combined to become Amazon. And they also did a mashup of Superman and Captain America, Batman and Wolverine, Dark Claw, I think it was. Just a whole bunch of really clever, well done titles. I agree with you. I'd love to see Amalgam come back. You still see, what is that? Dan Jurgens offshoot. The one that had the same names, but they were different, completely different imaginings of Superman and Batman and the Challengers of the Unknown and such. Terry McIver says the Stan Lee imagines DC comics were pretty good, and the likes of Aquaman getting the Marvel treatment. Yeah, I love the Stan Lee Presents books too. Those were so good. That was where Stan Lee, after he was dropped from the board of directors for Marvel Comics, he went to DC, called him up and said, hey, listen, would you like to work on some comic books for us? And he said, I would love to. So he did like a 12-issue series with the help of Michael Uslan, who is now a movie producer and in charge of the Batman movie franchise, among others, and did some Stan Lee versions of Superman, Batman, Justice League, Aquaman, all these great stuff. Terry, you brought up some good memories there, brother. Carl Westman says, all I need is Kamiko on my back. I'm glad that we fired her and her image. I would love to have Kamiko on my back. I'd even like to have her on my front. And Johnny Pike, Disney is ruthless about their IPs. Yes, they are. Like I keep saying, they sued a freaking daycare center. How protective do you have to be to do that? And Gary Frank, that's it. Yeah, he doesn't do exactly Christopher Reeve, but he comes really close. Yeah, Gary Frank's awesome. I've loved his artwork for years, and I love his art. I do too, Robert. I loved it when he did that brief run of Action Comics about 10 years ago, because he made Superman's costume look like real fabric, like like a wool fabric, which was kind of cool. And speaking of definitely cool, there's Randy Zimmerman on YouTube. Randy, glad to see you, sir. Indie Volt. What is it? Tuesdays and on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays. They're all over the place. Check out indievolt.com, except no substitutes. I'm drawing a real estate ad this morning instead of monkeys and listening to the Nevermind. Well, Randy, I'm glad it's paying. Anyway, yeah, Randy is a very talented artist and a really great guy and a super host. So check out Indie Volt on Facebook and YouTube. I love tuning into that show and just kind of learn. Anyway, yeah, I haven't abandoned you guys. I haven't abandoned you, Randy. I just haven't had a surplus of time lately to do anything but just listen. So anyway, Randy Zimmerman, please check out his work. He is awesome. Plus, he's got a YouTube channel too, where he teaches art and does all kinds of amazing things. Randy is always glad to have you here, brother. Terry McIver says, you got to keep us up to date with the In the Works comic when it's all signed and sealed. Oh, definitely. We've got, like I said, we've got a novel, 2 books, and then I'm publishing one other book, starting work on another, and then I've got a comic book. I'll tell you, the comic right now is going to be a revival of Nature Boy with Eric Hawkins. We've already started work on it, but we both got distracted. John B. Pica, public domain characters. I've been very interested in using several PD characters in my Decoverse series. I mean, how cool would it be to have Black Terror and Big Daddy Cool team up, or Green Llama and Madame Dark? Yeah, Green Llama, though, is trademarked. Be careful about that one. The daughter of Richard Crossan owns the trademark on that now. She just got it renewed about 10 years ago, because I wanted to do Green Llama too, and then she asserted her copyright, and now I would steer clear of that. But there are plenty of other mystical characters you could do. In fact, here's a little background information. The Green Llama, one of the adventures I planned to write was originally, or rather Doc Saga, which is my creation, was one of the stories I'm going to write for one of the upcoming volumes, was originally a Green Llama story, because we thought it was in the public domain, and I worked with an Hollywood audio adventure company at the time, and we were going to start a line of audio adventures, and thank goodness we didn't. Don't need that kind of attention, but no, there's so many great characters that are in the public domain. So John, yeah, maybe if you need it, I can help you find another mystical character. There's plenty of them, and some great characters. So many cool characters. Amalgam comics were very cool. We could see it again. John B. Pica, I agree with you so much. I love those experiments. I really do. And Carleen, not reminding Carl that Kamiko resigned to become a lady bowler. Well, that's true. Well, she's I could tell that, especially from some of the videos I found, she can handle balls like nobody else. And Carleen goes, GG Randy, all right. And John B. Pica says Jim Lee was one of the artists on that Stan Lee Imagines the DC Universe Green Lantern. I think that sounds right, John. That sounds right. And Jim Lee's an amazing artist. And Alfred Pennyworth. Well, my goodness, did Master Wayne let you out? I thought you guys were dead. Anyway, hello, folks. You haven't seen me in quite a while, but Terry McIver brought me back today to remind you I'm an artist, been drawing for 2 years and 4 months now. As you can see in my profile picture, that is some of my work. You can see more at Schurman Art Design, and you can look up the group HarleyCon 2020. Vendor room on Facebook, as I'm a vendor for the event. Check it out. Thank you, Mr. Pennyworth. All right, and Mr. Wayne is insisting on his tea. And 80K on the net last night, Brian. New record. You need to come on soon. I probably do, Randy. I need to like get an extra cup of coffee and stay up past my bedtime. That's great though, Randy. Congratulations. Has Varian Grant had to get like a second job or something to pay for the bandwidth? Yeah, it's kind of become a running joke that Indie Volt Radio has been breaking record after record, and 80K. That, oh, Randy, I'm proud of you. That is fantastic, and it's well deserved because you guys run a great show. But anyway, the more viewers or listeners that they get for Indie Volt, the more bandwidth that Varian Grant has to pay for. So I'm figuring he better be running a lot of ads soon because he's gonna go broke on bandwidth. Anyway, that's great. Oh, Randy, that is fantastic. Congratulations on behalf of all the Nevermorians. That is super, Randy. Thank you for sharing that. And R.I. Slavic says, I'd love to get the rights to the comic book greats video series Stan Lee did years ago. Yeah. Oh, you never know. Give it time. Maybe somebody will, maybe you'll get big enough you can buy it from. Cindy Cap, tune in to the Historical Fencing Guild and check out the nifty stuff Nicholas Tockert is up to. Support your local sword master. Yeah, Nick Tockert does some amazing stuff on weaponry on his Friday night YouTube channel from 8 p.m. Eastern till midnight. Great stuff. I love watching it. He knows his stuff, and he boils it down so even goobs like me can figure it out. Great stuff indeed. Thank you, Cindy, for that mention. Also, Nick Tockert is also a great game designer, and he's the one doing the hybrid Sons of Gods role-playing game, and I got to play test it with Luke Stone. It was a blast. Harley Slavic, I'm going to be reintroducing PB films and cartoons on VHS. Very cool indeed. Ted Davies says, please enjoy a very candid interview with Eddie D'Angelini. Eddie D'Angelini. I got it. Had to take a running start and back up and take it again. And so if inclined, share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and enjoy the journey. Good stuff. Ted Davies is a fantastic interviewer. Please check out all of his interviews. They are great, including mine. All right, I got to run, says John B. Pica. Today's project is working on that handbook of the Decoverse. Yes, now that I've rediscovered the files and art, I'm only halfway through and already at 109 pages. Have a great day. Go to patreon.com/impossibilists. Oh, John B. Pica, great news. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contributions this morning. And as always, sir, have an excellent day. Thank you for everything. And Cindy says, go, Randy. Go, Randy. Oh, yeah. And get past that real estate ad and get back to drawing monkeys, man. And I'm not talking about Mike, Peter, Davey, and Mickey. If you need some very spankable monkeys, you definitely want to get Randy Zimmerman on your side. Anyway, now that we've said that, I think since my beloved is here, I think I should probably pay attention to her for a little while. So anyway, we've got stuff we got to get done, but we have some programming notes. Please check out last night's clever title pending. It was a fantastic show with Eric Hawkins and Luke Stone. We were talking about crowdfunding, and hopefully, if you've got an eye for increasing your fan base and getting some more people to sign up for your mailing list, it's a great way to do so. Check out all the tips that the three of us gave last night, and we promise they will be back. Both Luke and Eric, they can't get away. So check it out on last night's clever title pending, now posted on YouTube on my channel. Please give that video a like, and please subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much in many ways. And this coming Tuesday on Clever Title Pending, we will have Jen Thompson of Neil Leaf Press. She will be talking about writing, editing, publishing, and also promoting shows, namely the Indie Author Book Expo, which will be coming back strong in 2021. So please check out this coming Tuesday's show with Jen Thompson. It's going to be great. And also, we'll be doing our usual Friday morning, Nevermind the Furthermore. And then this weekend, there is a virtual con coming out of the Matteson, Illinois Public Library. Maria Gonzales has really put a lot of effort into this great event, and I'm really proud of her. It's going to be happening this Friday and Saturday. There is an activity page on Facebook. We will be sharing the links for that. Please check out my Facebook page and also Rising Tide for the MAPLD FanFest. I'm going to be there 4 p.m. Friday and 4 p.m. Saturday. 4 p.m. That's all. Both of those are Eastern times. I will be talking about getting published by the mainstream and independent comics and how you can break in on Friday, and then on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'll be talking about creating comics and books and world building. And I'll be joined by the fantastic Jack Gonzales on that one. So please check us out. We're going to have a good time at the MAPLD FanFest, and we hope you'll join us this weekend. And Luke Stone, good to see you, Luke. I'm always proud to have you here. It was a fun show last night. I had fun, and I enjoyed our talk afterwards. That was great. So check out Luke Stone Studios. Also, 2 more days on Voodoo Nation. Go to Kickstarter and look up Luke Stone or look up Voodoo Nation, and because that's a good looking book. And check out some of their other great titles, because they're also doing a cover crossover as one of the levels with Pops Van Zant's publishing company. Please check it out. It's great stuff. Harley Slavic says, take care. Go to harleyslavic.com. Do that thing. Thank you, Harley, for being here. Robert Bay says, have a fantastic day, everyone. Glad to see you here, Robert. Hope you have a fantastic day, brother. And HarleyCon 2020 says, Terry McIver, coming up this Saturday, a free online Comic-Con from the core group that brought you CyberCon 2020. Excuse me, right here on Facebook. And if you're not listening to them, tune out of there and follow me on there on the MAPLD. I'm just teasing. Anyway, watch us both. It's going to be a fun time. I had a good time at CyberCon, so check it out. Thank you, Terry McIver, for bringing that to our attention. We appreciate that as always. Thank you very much. So anyway, it looks like we've got some busy stuff going on, and we hope you do too. We hope you're following your muse, or at least chasing her down and telling her we got to get to work. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic day. And also don't forget, Friday night at 8 p.m., Uncle Carl is going to open up the green room. And if you're lucky, you'll get an invite. And it's where we let our hair down, such as it is. And we talk candidly about any damn thing we want. Also, check out tomorrow night at 9 p.m., Stupid O'Clock. Check out their Facebook page and their YouTube channel. Give that please subscribe to that. It's a fantastic show where a random group of people, they're about as random as it gets, get together and have that after hours convention discussion of anything and everything. It's a great time. I've been on that show. Carl Wisman's been on the show. It's a good time. Please check it out. Also, don't forget Indie Volt Radio and Indie Volt. They've got all kinds of really, really cool stuff going on. Which I think you'll like. And thank you, Terry McIver. Thank you so much, and stay safe, everyone. You too, brother. And please hurry back and have a good time at the convention this weekend. All right. Excuse me, I gotta go get some more kovfefe. Evidently. That was grounds. That didn't help any. Anyway, hope you all have a fantastic day. And thank you for watching Nevermind the Furthermore with myself, Brian K. Morris. And please join us at Friday at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central for another episode. Be sure to check out our website, risingtide.pub, where you can subscribe to our monthly newsletter there. And the next issue will be going out September 1st. Every month we list what's going on with Rising Tide Publications, and we've got some really cool projects in the works right now. Also, we'll have an agenda of my personal appearances, which are now happening in October, so the season isn't lost yet. We also will have guest editorials, occasional book discounts, and special links that are sure to delight you. We provide motivation, illumination, and education, and 2 secret links, as well as inspirational quotes. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel wherever you're watching it, and give that give a like to this video if you would, because it helps us in our eventual media conquest. We want to be at least half as big as IndieVolt.com. And also, please hit that bell so you'll be notified of all of our future appearances. And if you're watching on Facebook, please give our Rising Tide Publications page a like. We've got over 2,100 people that are digging it, and we hope you will too. We provide memes and discussions and promotion of other people that I think you'll appreciate. And so let's see what else. And Randy Zimmerman, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, Randy. And yeah, I'll make my way back to Indie Volt soon. I promise you I will. And Terry McIver says, this has been both very informative and an awesome watch and interaction. Look forward to the next one. Well, we look forward to having you back, and Terry, please do. Even if you don't have a CyberCon to promote, we still love having you. You've been a great conversationalist, as have you all. Thank you all for participating in the madness here, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. And All I can, let's see, is as I very subtly set up for the next shot and don't let any of you know what's going on. Uh, we hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And as always, don't forget, stay smart, stay safe, wash your damn hands, and never apologize for being awesome. This is Brian Morris signing off for Nevermind the Furthermore. We'll see you Friday morning at 10 a.m., 9 Eastern, or at 9 Central. Just be here. You know the time. I'll make my way here eventually. Everyone have a fantastic day. Hashtag Buttbeard.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Thank you for tuning in to Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Publications and Brian K. Morris production. Member of the Comic Book Advocating Network and sponsored by GeekInsider.com. Become part of our show with sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For details, contact advertising at GeekInsider.com or visit podcast.geekinsider.com. The Geek Insider podcast is available on your favorite app, so please hit the follow button and share it out to your friends. Because if you don't, you might have to turn in your geek card.